Alright, Geordie Prepper here. Welcome to another Prepper Network news video. Today is the 4th of March 2024. Just want to start off by saying that this month, as well as the month of September, twice a year is Check Your Preps month. Make sure you guys check your preps. I would suggest initially that you focus on tidying, clearing out, and maintaining your property, and then move on to checking your preps. I'm going to do some videos on checking your preps. It's not going to be in any particular order, and it's going to be mixed in with news videos. I just need to work out a schedule which is going to allow me to do this, so bear with me, but I am going to do some videos on this important thing. And this is an important initiative which I started many years ago, which is to check your preps. Now let's get on to the news. First article is that the German ambassador has been summoned by Russia's foreign ministry. Germany accuses Russia of trying to destabilize Germany. Russian state media leaked a conversation between German military officers. This was an intercepted message across a non-military communication network. Germany accuses Russia of trying to destabilize the country. I'm not exactly sure how they can really do this, because if they didn't want the communications leaked, they should have taken better care to encrypt them. The audios discussed using German man-made Taurus missiles for attacks in Ukraine. A full investigation has been promised by the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz. That's a bit like trying to close the door after the horse is bolted, but never mind. The Russian Foreign Ministry has summoned the German ambassador to Moscow after Russian state media leaked a conversation between German military officers discussing how German-made Taurus missiles could be used by the Ukraine. Germany has also accused Russia of trying to destabilize the country. The 38-minute audio recording of talks between German military officers was leaked on social media. In the conversation, talks about NATO personnel being on the ground in the Ukraine, and it confirmed that British troops were on the ground. Now, obviously, this is a massive escalation for Russia. It's a big red line for them. That NATO troops are directly involved in conflict. Then, obviously, this is going to escalate the situation. Secondly, we're looking at Zelensky is wanting some better air defenses. Zelensky urges swift delivery of air defense systems amid Russian attacks. He's called on the West to quickly supply more air defense systems as a series of Russian missile, drone and artillery strikes have killed at least 13 people. The latest attacks, which targeted the southern port city of Odessa and other frontline regions, have intensified the need for increased protection for Ukrainian civilians. That's what he's saying. I think what we're seeing is a very desperate man. In a social media post, Zelensky stated, "We need more air defenses from our partners. We need to strengthen the Ukrainian air shield to add more protection for our people from Russian terror. More air defense systems and more missiles for air defense systems save lives." The ongoing conflict between the Ukraine and Russia has placed a significant strain on the country's resources, with Ukraine acknowledging that it is heavily outgunned and outnumbered. So at one point they weren't even talking about defeat, shortages, and that's all they're talking about is the Ukraine on the back foot. The Ukrainian government has expressed frustrations over the $60 billion aid package being held up in the United States Congress, which could provide vital support in the ongoing war against Russia. In the meantime, Ukrainian forces continue to face mounting challenges, with the defense minister stating that half of all promised Western ammunition arrives in the country late. Russian forces have made recent advances, seizing several small villages in recent days, as the situation on the ground remains difficult. President Zelensky has urged the international community to act swiftly in providing the necessary air defense systems to prevent Ukrainian citizens from further Russian aggression, as he calls it. I think we're seeing Zelensky is very desperate now, and he's basically constantly traveling, trying to drum up support. And I don't think he's going to get that support anytime very soon. House Foreign Affairs Chairman Michael McCall is leading efforts for a potential floor action. The aid package has been stalled since late fall. The Senate passed a $95 billion foreign aid bill, including $60+ billion in support for Ukraine last month. The aid package has been stalled since last fall due to opposition from far-right Republicans. I wonder why they call them far-right. I mean, what in their eyes makes it far-right? To the fact that they're wanting to ensure that the bill is, includes things that protect their own security. I mean, I don't think that's nothing to do with far-right. However, House Foreign Affairs Chairman Michael McCall is leading efforts to pass it. The Pennsylvania Representative Brian Fitzpatrick believes he can secure enough Republican backing for it. The discussion of the bipartisan Ukraine aid package by Mike Johnson is crucial for the timely delivery of military assistance to Kyiv, desperately needing what it needs to fight Russia and alleviate the concerns surrounding the opposition. So basically they're trying to make sure that all parties in the discussion have their concerns addressed whilst still obviously giving a package that is going to satisfy Zelensky's needs. Next, we're going to Belarus. I think Belarus is going to play a very important part in the upcoming war. What part, that I'm not too sure what's going to play, but it could be a flashpoint for action to start. Obviously, it's kind of a buffer between NATO and Russia. Obviously, one of the reasons why nuclear weapons have been deployed there from Russia. So, they're basically in the same boat as each other. And obviously, Lukashenko is in favor with Putin. The Belarusian President Lukashenko has signed the decree on wartime conditions, and it covers many different areas. Enhanced procedure, it improves the process for government agencies and organizations to transition from peacetime to wartime operations, ensuring coordinated and effective responses to national security threats. So they're obviously worried. They're obviously worried about things going from what we would call normal to a state of conflict. The agencies are identified, specific government bodies, including the Belarusian People's Congress, Parliament Chambers, Constitutional Court and Supreme Court. They would all come under the umbrella of the decree, and they have to adhere to the new regulations. Military ranks, heads of government agencies and select organizations which are in the civil sector will receive military ranks during martial law, highlighting the merging of civil and military structures. Systemic operation. The decree aims to maintain the uninterrupted operation of the government system amidst increasing military threats during wartime scenarios. So effectively, this is about continuity of government and basically clamping down. They've obviously mentioned martial law there, so I think that'll be brought in very quickly in Belarus if things happen. And the recent decree signed by Lukashenko introduces significant changes to the nation's operational conditions during wartime. Effectively, I think what he's doing is he's putting a tight grip on things before things kick off. Basically, he wants everything centralized. But this is the important part here. This decree underscores Belarus's readiness to respond effectively to national security threats and demonstrates the government's commitment to ensuring operational continuity during times of crisis. So I think this is really a signal to the West. It also raises questions about the merging of civil and military structures within the government and highlights the nation's preparedness for potential military conflicts. So yeah, it's definitely a signal to the West that they're ready. And obviously, Lukashenko and Putin are quite close. There's Russian nukes in the country. I don't think they would give them nukes if they weren't very, very close. But yeah, this is quite significant. It's telling the West and NATO that they're ready. Britain and British law enforcement have introduced a bill which gives them authority to freeze crypto assets. The Economic Crime and Corporate Transparency Bill has passed, granting law enforcement agencies the power to freeze cryptocurrency assets involved in criminal activities without requiring a conviction. The legislation takes effect in April and includes provisions for civil recovery orders for confiscating crypto assets and retrieving them directly from exchanges and custodian wallet providers. The bill has been cited as aiming to tackle the growing concerns about cryptocurrency's involvement in criminal activities such as cybercrime, scams, and drug trafficking. I think there's obviously a lot more behind this. It's about people's effectiveness to use cryptocurrency. Don't get caught up into the whole cryptocurrency thing, guys. Cryptocurrency is owned by the central bankers. It's not the alternative that you are looking for. And especially if you're a prepper, you really want to be putting currency that you earn through living and working into preparedness type things, such as food, tools, knowledge. But yeah, this bill it enables the recovery of crypto assets without requiring an initial arrest. So even if they can't find you, they know that you've got this cryptocurrency, they can find out what your wallet address is, and then they can just seize it. And the bill also contains a provision that criminalizes resisting or assaulting a law enforcement officer in the process of seizing a cryptocurrency asset. So that basically includes like giving them your password. If your crypto is on an encrypted drive, then they don't see that as a reason to withhold it. The bill emerged in response to evolving landscape of financial crimes, including money laundering, fraud, bribery, and associated with cryptocurrencies. Yeah. I mean, effectively, this is all going to be a moot point anyways, because once the CBDCs come in, the central banking digital currencies, you're only going to be using those currencies anyways for any sort of crypto. That's going to be a very bad day. So use cash as much and as long as you can for. And I always say use cash, and there's a reason why I say that. So that wraps up our analysis of topics us preppers need to be aware of. Stay tuned for more updates in upcoming videos. Until next time, goodbye.